Hello and welcome to my garden. I wanted to give you guys a quick look of what I got in bloom at the moment. I'm going to start here with the Wedgwood Rose. Oops. This is the Wedgwood Rose from David Austin. It's a climbing rose. And as you can see, with any moisture, it does ball. Okay, the whole thing just fell off. It will ball. But when it doesn't, it is a really beautiful rose. I haven't noticed. It has a fragrance, but it's not like really strong. And I'll have to look at what they say the scent is because to me it just has like a real rose scent. So if you don't like the browning, it's very heavily petaled. It seems pretty disease resistant. As you can see, I'm not seeing much rust or black spot. We had a really weird summer. In June, when it was putting on its first flush, we had a couple rainstorms and all of my roses completely lost their petals, defoliated. It was almost like they thought it was winter. And so they're just now starting to do another flush. So that's why it took me a while to be able to come show you guys what was in bloom. The weather's just kind of been a little different this summer. So there's the red Wedgwood Rose. This one is one of my ambridges. And I have some pink flamingo pelargoniums and a hardy geranium. I believe this one, I'd have to look it up. I think it was like, I want to say Roxanne was the name or something like that. I'll look it up and see if I can find the name of it. This is the Onric Rose. And it just finished a flush. It just lost all of its petals. But you guys might have seen I did some short videos on. This here, it's not currently in bloom, but it's putting on a bunch of growth. This is Kiss Me Kate. And I was a little worried about this one because it looked really diseased and it lost all of its leaves as well, but it's putting on a bunch of new growth. So I think our weird summer storms we have just kind of made my flowers do some really weird things this year. Down here I have Jubilee Celebration. Let's see if you guys can see that. He's way down there. This is all my Nepeta. Here is Hollow Car. And I have her over here because she's got really, really, really wicked thorns. These are just, I believe they're drift roses, I want to say. They're still beautiful. And I have a lot of roses that aren't in bloom right now. This is Bliss Perfuma. She starts out kind of like a real pink. And as you can see, fades. This guy back here is Gabriel Oak. I will say this Bliss Perfuma is really hardy. I've noticed the Kordes roses seem to be more hardy for me than the David Austins. The David Austins seem more like they disease easier than the Kordes for me. If you guys live in a wet climate like I do, that might be something to consider. If you live in a drier climate, it might not be something you have to worry about. It is beautiful. And over here, it's not in bloom. I got one bud right there. That's Young Laticus. And it's not in bloom. I'm trying to remember what this one is here. I have another one here. But I do see one little bloom on. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll put it on the screen. My brain's just not thinking. So, yeah. And then this one here, this is Skylark. and it kind of reminds me of Royal Jubilee, but I believe Royal Jubilee is supposed to have more of a scent. But its new foliage looks pretty good, healthy too, compared to this time last year. It seems to be a lot healthier. Again, everything defoliated and got fresh leaves, so maybe that helped. I don't know, but they look pretty good for this time of year for me. That one's Bliss Parfuma. Let's see. This one is Double Amber, and it is not in bloom yet. It had really bad, you can see a little bit. It had a really bad black spot last year, and it seems a lot better this year. I did move some of my roses. He doesn't look as good as he did last year. This is Bathsheba. Bathsheba is probably one of my favorite climbing roses. I do get a lot of black spot. As you can see, towards this time of year, I need to come in and defoliate because it looks really, really bad. But I love the color of the blooms. And see what else. This was a Stacy Weiss just finishing her bloom. I had Boscobel. I think Boscobel's done blooming. This, of course, is Queen of Sweden, as you can tell by its beautiful upright blooms. It's very beautiful. This is Strawberry Hill, and I think every year I say I'm going to pull it. I don't know what is going on with it. It's like on its 4th year, and this is every year. It just defoliates and looks terrible. It's never put on growth. So it's one I might just have to pull. The blooms are really beautiful though, but it just always looks diseased and it always defoliates. So I don't know what is going on with that. Over here by my daughter's little play kitchen, this is Zephyr Drew. This is its 1st year. So we'll see how it does. I'm hoping this fence between me and my neighbor that it'll just kind of take off. And the bonus was because it's thornless. I'm sorry about the lighting, you guys. The sun's going down. I'm hoping that it can just take off and I don't have to worry about my daughter getting poked or anything. So that is my backyard portion. I'll give you guys. It's getting to the point where I probably need to start doing some deadheading and cutting back. I weeded and wood chipped not very long ago, and the bindweed just went crazy. Oh, and here I do have this guy's taking over, but I have my sea anemone, peach sea anemone, and that's the regular sea anemone you're seeing there. But the bindweed has been really bad this year, which might go hand in hand with all the wet moisture I've been telling you guys we had. Over here I have on the wall fence here, which again is not in bloom, is the Colette rose. And it does have some buds, so I'm hoping it'll put on one more flush. This is my Ambridge. Ambridge is probably another one of my favorite roses. See if I can get this one's an older one. I probably had this one for about 6 years. And it definitely gets a good fragrance. Over here I have Grand Dame. And this was, I want to say it's its 3rd year. It's huge, and it definitely has some good size blooms. Next to it I have Jasmina, and I actually had Gertrude Jekyll here before, and it wasn't doing very well. And Jasmina seems to put on a lot of growth. I got this one from a seller in Canada, and it's not on Dr. Huey. It's on a different rootstock. I'll put the name on the screen. And I don't know if it's just because Jasmine is a vigorous climber, but it definitely has taken off here. I got it last summer, bare root, and then I repotted it. So this is his 1st year in this spot. Over here I have Windemeyer. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And next to it I have Roald Dahl. And again, all these roses, usually by this time of year, my roses are starting to not look so great. And I'm feeling like maybe because we had a big rainstorm in June and everything lost its leaves, maybe that just helped it get rid of all the stuff that would have got sick and pushed new foliage. I'm not sure what exactly happened. But these are probably the healthiest my roses have ever looked for living on the coast. This here is Donahue, and it has really pretty red foliage. But unfortunately, I have a little walkway for my daughter right here. It's like her little secret garden. And this rose is so thorny. I actually got an infection in my finger from the thorns off this rose. So over the winter, I will be moving Donahue somewhere else because I can't have that where she's running back and forth. Behind him, I have Claire Austin. And sorry, unfortunately, it's also not in bloom. But I do see some new buds. And I need to get it off that obelisk and just put it on the fence because it wants to take off. And then this is just my daughter's little kind of secret garden. She's got another one over here. I got a bunch of Rudbeckia for the fall. On the fence up there, that is Litfield Angeled. My Japanese maples. This one here is the Poet's Wife. And this is part shade, as you can tell. This gets part shade. And this side of the yard also in the winter is just full shade. Up here I have a little bit of blooms left. This is Welchenblau. And it's an old once bloomer. This one back here, I need to cut my bamboo back. But that's Novelist. And I believe that's also on the other rootstock as well. And then this is my daughter's little secret garden with her little fairy garden back there. And I have all my Japanese maples. I have a love for Japanese maples as well as roses. So that's her little fairy garden back there. And then over here, this is James Galloway. And I have him in part shade. This is his first year. I got him bare root from David Austin's website. And the reason why I put him here is I thought they said he was not very thorny. And I mean, right here, he's not thorny, but he definitely still has some thorns. So if you're worried about little ones, I mean, there's definitely still thorns on him. I'll just walk through and walk back here. Over here, these are my Japanese maples. That's Orangiola. These are my tree ferns. When I first started gardening, I didn't realize that there was different types of tree ferns, and I got the wrong kinds. These ones only grow an inch a year, and this big guy grows a foot a year. Those are the Australian ones. There's 2 different types. So, gardener mistake, but I'm learning. I probably won't see these guys become tree ferns in my lifetime, but it's okay. They're still beautiful. So this is kind of my ferny area. Over here, I don't have any roses on this side except for that James Galloway. This is my Gunnera. My big old Gunnera. Fire Glow Japanese maple. Over here, this one is... Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'll put the name on the screen. And I didn't cut his hips off because I had read it had really nice hips. And this is his first year. I got from David Austin bare root. Buttercup. I don't know why I can't think of that. Buttercup. It's a single yellow bloomer. Over here is Benjamin Britten. And he's not looking so great. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if that's rust or something else, but he doesn't look super healthy. Let's see if I can find I don't know what that's about. Here's a bloom. He's a very pretty rose. Very unique colors, I think. This is Gertrude Jekyll, and this is the one I had moved. And this side of the yard does get full sun. It's just the sun's going down at the moment. Over here, I have Eden. And I moved Eden because he wasn't getting enough sun. I've never gotten a bloom off of Eden before. I didn't realize that I had a dahlia growing here as well. So next year I'll have to move him because obviously... Oh, there's a bird in there. Oh my goodness, that scared me. You guys see that? Uh-oh. I wonder if he's hurt. Well, that really scared me. I'll come back in a minute and see if he's still there. That really scared me. Like I was saying, the Eden is not getting enough. Oh. Sorry, guys. The Eden's not getting enough air through there, and I know that. So I'll definitely be moving that dahlia. But even when I had him placed somewhere else last year, he just never bloomed for me and always looks not so great. So I was really sad about that because I've always seen other people's Edens look so beautiful. This is Abraham Darby. And he's also more of a not so healthy rose. Beautiful though. But the older David Austins I definitely have noticed are not as healthy as these new ones they bred. I'll put the name of this one on the screen. I never can remember what its name is. Don't mind all my daughter's been pretending that she's camping. So we have camping in little pools all over the place. That is that. This one, again, I'll put the name on the screen. But it's a really beautiful rose. Very healthy. This is the healthiest my roses have ever been. This was one that I believe I did an unboxing on. I got from Jessie Roses. I'll put the name on the screen. It was a Japanese rose. It just finished its bloom. This is Grace. Grace has been a great bloomer for me. It's got a bunch of buds. This is another Japanese rose called Lilas. And it looks more pinker than in person. It definitely is more of a purple. And it's done pretty good for considering. So there's that. Okay, over here, this is my side curtain. This is Lavender Crush, and he just finished its big bloom. It's got some new growth, but I do see black spot. That's typically what my roses look like about this time of year because we get such moisture. And the back here, I'm just going to blow it up. This is my neighbor's windows right there. That is Waldron Old Hall. And then I have Princess Charlene de Monaco and another one back there that's not in bloom yet. This one right here that's just blooming out, that's Dylan. And I had Country Parson I don't know if you can see him right there, but I moved him because he's so thorny. And he hasn't done too great this year, so I'm trying to think what other roses I have over here. I'm staring at them. Walk this way. See if I can. Sorry if I make you guys dizzy. I'm trying to think what that. Oh, this is this sensuous rose. Am I saying that right? This pink one here. And it smells so good. This one, I'll put the name of the screen what it was. It was one I did an unboxing on as well, and I don't think it's a Japanese rose though, but I did get it off Etsy. And this will be its first bloom. Under here, that's Evelyn. And I believe when I got it, it had mosaic. And it just hasn't bloomed. It hasn't grown. It hasn't done anything this year. So, we'll see. And then, next to him, right, if my finger can do it, right there, that. I don't know if the name is, it's like hammocks. I'll put it on the screen. They say it's like a climbing Juliet, or I think it's, I don't know if it's Chinese or a Japanese rose, but it's like a version of what Juliet looks like. And then I have another one here. I'll put the name of on the screen that I got this year, and I put it here because it's thornless. It's supposed to be thornless. And again, the walkways, I don't want thorns. Over here, let's see if I can. This is kind of like my little asparagus ferns. I have some other stuff, azaleas, elephant ears. This is our little veggie bed where we dug up some potatoes, and we have some onions and blueberries. Nothing too huge. We're doing some, I believe, some squash and some red pumpkins this year. This bamboo, it's a clumping bamboo, but it gets a lot larger. Sorry, it gets a lot larger than I thought it would get for a clumping bamboo. We got the wrong type, and it just grows like crazy. So I have to keep cutting it back. It was definitely not the right one to get. This is my Ruby Falls Weeping Red Bud. I've been wanting one for years, and I haven't seen them in the local nurseries. So I finally found one, but it's so small. So I'm going to try to train the leader up to get taller. Over here I have, trying to think, I believe that is Jude the Obscure. That is my pixie maple. Behind that is my yellow climbing rose. I'm forgetting the name of it right now. I'll put it on the screen. And it's been there for a while. And again, it doesn't look very good either. And it hasn't really put on blooms. I'm not sure if it's getting too shaded out by the bamboo. It might need to get moved. This one, I need to come deadhead. This is Desdemona. And it's very beautiful. But again, it's starting to get some black spots. Here's our little, we got our sweet peas. My daughter's very into helping me in the garden right now, so she comes out and helps plant flowers and pick flowers, and it's kind of been her. This is this dahlia, I don't know the name of. I got it in a 3-pack mix, probably like 6 years ago, and this is the only one that ever came back. But it's beautiful. So this is my Bloodgood Japanese maple. And then over here I have Twombly Red Sentinel. And I can't remember the name of this one either. Polka. That's Polka. And I planted him last year. I feel like it's just putting on growth right now. You know, it didn't bloom this year, but I'm okay with that. I'm down there. That is just Joey. Over here I have Crown Princess Marguerite, and it has also not done very well for me. This year it's full of foliage. I'm sorry, my camera's messing up. This year it's done better than it has in past years. This is Munstead Wood. I have 3 here. This one I think is about dead, and they're just not. They're not healthy roses, but they have the best scent. So I wish they'd perform, but I might have to do some rose pulling. I really have noticed how much healthier the Kordes roses have been for me with the fog and the mildew and mold and just our very wet climate living off of the ocean. Back here I have another Rolder Old Hall. I need to come clip my clematis back because it's taken over my roses. But it's really pretty, and if I can find the name of it, I'll put it up. I've always had a hard time with clematises because they just rot over the winter, and then they never come back for me. They're kind of like an annual. And so this one, I think, is like its 3rd year. So I was really excited about that. But behind that, I do have Lady of Shalott, but it's getting eaten up by my clematis, so I gotta come prune it back. And then down here, this is Lady Emma Hamilton. I see Lydia Shalot's coming through here. And again, it hasn't done a whole lot for me. Over here, I have Orange Veranda. That's Orange Veranda. And it's new. The first blooms, like the new blooms, like right here, are really beautiful. But I personally don't care for the aged blooms myself. I'll put the name of this rose on the screen. I don't remember either, but I also got this one from Canada. And, you know, the pictures made it look really, really beautiful. But I'm not that big of a fan of its blooms. It's not what the pictures portrayed it to be to me. And then this down here is my Crimson Queen. This rose here is Altissimo. I'll move, you guys can see. It's very beautiful in the sun. It kind of like glows. And it's kind of nice to have a variety of roses with different petal counts, you know. I really like the English roses, but to have something different, it's kind of nice. Over here, this is another Altissimo, and I got this one as a band rose. I want to say last year. I had Don Juan here prior, but it was really unhealthy and just wasn't thriving, so I pulled it. And I thought I would put an Altissimo here. The other Altissimo I showed you guys was over there, just so I had, like, you know, the same on both sides. And it bloomed, and it was Dr. Huey. So I think what happened was that the Dr. Huey came from the Don Juan I pulled, because this was a band rose and it wasn't grafted. I want to say it came from, I'll put it on the screen, was it High Country Roses, I want to say is what it was. And they're band roses, they're not grafted roses. So the only way I can figure it is that, I mean, if you guys have any input on that, please let me know. But I don't know how to get rid of the Dr. Huey now. I guess I'm going to have to pull the Altissimo and put it somewhere else for a while and try to get rid of the Dr. Huey, because I really don't want Dr. Huey taking over. So that'll be something this winter. This here is Florentina. And I have another one on the other side by my Altissimo. Getting some continuity so that it looks the same. And you know, it does have really pretty dark red foliage. I believe this is a Kordes rose. But you know, it definitely has some black spot I need to come take care of. This is kind of, don't mind my stuff there, but my Japanese-ish garden. Of course, with some roses thrown in. Over here, I don't believe I have any roses. This is my Emperor. Very pretty. Over here, I believe I need to move some of these roses because there's just too much shade. This is Ebb Tide, and as you can see, he's just sickly looking. I don't even think he bloomed for me this year. It's just too much shade now with the tree here. And these roses here are really, really old roses that I got as a bag rose probably 20 years ago. And I moved, and so I took cuttings of it. I don't know what it is, but it's a really fragrant, beautiful red rose. But it's not getting enough sun here either, so I probably need to pull them or move them as well. And then I got my Limelight hydrangeas. This is a princess flower, which is really pretty because it blooms in the winter too. And I have it in two different purples. Oh, here I have, this is Bring Me Sunshine. And it is in part shade. And over here is Graham Thomas, and Graham Thomas does not do very well. I mean, I've had him here longer. Well, let me back up and I'll show you guys. I've had him here in the ground longer than Bring Me Sunshine. And as you can see, that's as tall as he's grown. And Bring Me Sunshine's already up to there. Not to mention that he'll like put on a first flush and then he gets really sickly, loses all his leaves, and then he'll get new leaves and then they just get black spot. So with my area, it's just really hard to grow roses. But I do notice the new varieties definitely are a lot more disease resistant, which makes it hard because you always want to grow well, for me anyways, I'm always looking for the roses that you can't find or the roses that are like, you know, no longer available. And those roses just don't, I'm learning my lesson. Those roses just don't do good in my area. So I think that is probably going to be the end of my video. I gave you guys a real quick walkthrough. I know it was a quick one, but sun's going down. So I hope you guys liked my video, and I will try to do another video if some more roses come in bloom. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching.